All right, so this is what you're going to do on your scope of slope activity. On the top here, I think when you first started out, it should say f of x equals sine of x. Then what you're going to do is down here, so the point on the graph is the point x equals a, y is equal to sine of a, right? And what you're going to do is you're going to change a by sliding this slider along. And what you're watching here is a tiny little tangent line. So you're moving along the graph of f of x equals sine of x, and you're looking at the slopes of the tangent lines change. So notice it starts out a positive slope, and it's kind of getting less and less and less steep. Well, down here, it's plotting for you the derivative. Well, at x equals a. Well, the derivative is that slope, right? So the slope starts out positive, but it's decreasing. And now up here on the sine of x graph, when I get to this point, I have a horizontal tangent line, right? So the slope is 0 there. Well, notice down here, yeah, my derivative is 0 at that point. So I keep going, so a keeps going, traveling along the curve, and down below we're plotting the slopes of those tangent lines. We don't know exactly what they are, but watch, we're plotting, boom, 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 moving along. Notice that down below the derivative curve goes down, crosses the x-axis, it has a minimum here, and then it starts going up again, and it reaches a maximum positive number. Looks like it's 1. That's the slope of the tangent line at x equals 0. The slope of the tangent line is 1 there. And then it starts to decrease again, but it's still positive. And then all of a sudden it's 0 again at whatever that a is. And you keep going. And look at what you've graphed. So up above is the sine function, and down below is the derivative of the sine function. And you should all recognize that as the cosine function. That's the graph of the cosine function, right? It's at x equals 0, it's 1. Or this is at x equals negative 2 pi, it's 1. And then at x equals 0, it's 1 again. It has a minimum at negative 1. Well, that's at negative pi. And we've just graphed the cosine function. So the derivative of the sine function looks like it's the cosine function. And then do it again. Up here, change your function to f of x equals cosine of x, and see what the derivative of that looks like. So you can hit animate, and it'll do it for you. So as we travel along the curve f of x equals cosine of x, we see our slopes are negative here, and then less negative, but then there's 0. Down here, the derivative is 0. It was negative, now it's 0. Then it's positive, increasing, increasing, but then it starts to decrease. The slope of the tangent will level off here at x equals 0. Down here, of course, the derivative is 0 at x equals 0. And we can see we have graphed another, looks like another periodic function. So f of x is the cosine of x. What does this one look like? Well, it's not quite sine of x, but it's the reflection of sine of x across the x-axis. That's negative sine of x. So the derivative of f of x equals cosine of x, the derivative of that looks like it's going to be negative sine of x. All right, so this is the activity, and you can explore it and make sure you understand how the graphs are related before you move on. There are some exercises you can do to make sure that you understand what you just did. So try these exercises and just to check your understanding before you move on to the rest of the videos. All right, have a great time, and I'll see you in another video.